Hello, my name is Anthony Barry. In this video, I'm going to show you a couple quick tasks so you can get to know Adobe Premiere and see what's to come in this training series. We're going to be going over this briefly just to get you started. Don't worry if this goes too fast. We will be covering this in later lessons in a lot more detail. So let's just jump in and have some fun. Getting started, we're going to open up Adobe Premiere, create a new project, and import some footage. Now we go to create new project. I'm going to title this one brand new project. Then I'm going to navigate to where I want the location of my project by clicking on the browse. Navigate to where I want to save my project. I found a location for where I want to save my project. Then click OK. Now you've created a brand new project that you just saved and named. So now we're ready to start importing footage. You can simply double click to start and navigate to where our footage is. So for this, I'm going to select just 2 clips and click import. After you imported your clips, you'll notice 2 thumbnails. Now I'm going to talk quickly about shifting between icon view and list view. Currently I'm in icon view, but you can also switch if you prefer to see list view by clicking on the button in the bottom left hand corner. I find using icon view a little bit easier to navigate around your project, because you can also skim through or hover scrub over top of your clips so you can see what's on that clip. You also get reminders that you've already used a clip and where it's used on top of the icons. Let's switch back into list view by holding shift and hitting the backslash key. Using the list view will allow you to view the info or metadata in columns. So if I were to hit the tilde key, that maximizes any panel that my mouse is currently hovering over. While I'm still in list view, you can see all the available info just about these 2 clips. So let me hit tilde again, and this is going to go back into my normal view. So now let's get back to importing our footage. After I've imported those 2 clips, now I'm going to double click in the empty area of my project panel. This will bring back my import dialog box. Then I'm going to navigate to my audio and import a music track. Now in my project, I have 2 clips and a music track. After importing, we start organizing. One way of creating a new bin or a folder to organize by clicking on the button that says New Bin. It's located in the bottom right hand corner of the project panel. So I'm going to create some bins or folders. Now I'm going to title this one Music. I'll create a second bin and call this one Footage. So now I'm going to select these 2 clips by holding the Command or Control on a PC. 1 and 2 selected. So I'm just going to click, hold, and drag and drop my footage into my footage bin. And then I'm going to grab my music track, click, hold, and drag, and drop it inside of my music bin. Now that we're organized, we can create a timeline and begin to edit our clips. So now I'm going to move down here into the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm going to switch into list view instead of icon view. Twirl down this little arrow by my footage bin, and the easiest way to create a sequence is to click, hold, and drag and drop into the timeline panel. Now in the timeline panel, I've created a sequence that's based on my frame size and frame rate of my clip. When you see the arrow, you're currently using the selection tool. This will be your default tool, and you can always jump back to the selection tool using the V key on your keyboard. The 5th tool down is the razor tool, or you can use the C key as a shortcut on your keyboard. The razor tool is used to cut off excess media inside of your timeline. Using the razor tool, you just highlight an area over your clip, click, and it creates a cut. Then you can highlight your unwanted media and hit delete. And this is a very typical route that people take when they're editing inside of their timeline. And to bring it back to the beginning, I'm just going to highlight this gap and hit delete. Now my clip is back at the beginning of my sequence. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and title our sequence. This is basic Now to show you another way to bring a clip into our timeline, just double click, load it into the source monitor. Then using your playhead, you can mark in with I and hit O for out, and you can mark out a section of your clip that you want to use before you even get into editing. I'm using clips that do not have any audio. If you did have audio you didn't want to bring into your timeline, click the button that would say A1 located to the right of your toolbar. Or even easier, you can click, hold, and drag where it says drag video only. Then we'll drag this into our timeline. So as you can see, the clip has already been trimmed in our timeline, and you don't have to use the blade tool. Let's grab this audio clip, and now let's drop it on our timeline. After bringing the music clip into the timeline, I like to move it down a track or two, and you can do this by holding the Option key, or Alt key if you're on a PC, and clicking the down arrow, leaving room for voiceover, sound effects, or ambient sound. When you're working with a music track or cutting to audio, it's always a good idea to see your waveforms. For this, you want to expand your audio tracks and zoom into your timeline. And you can do that by holding the Option or Alt on a PC and hitting the plus or minus keys. Then I'm just going to scroll down by either using the scroll wheel on my mouse, or there's a scroll bar for either your audio tracks or your video tracks on your timeline. And if you need to, zoom into your timeline panel by highlighting your timeline panel and hitting the plus or minus keys to zoom in. Just in case you get confused, the plus sign and the equals key are the same on a Mac. To create a title, we're going to go over to the new item icon, click on it, and navigate up to title. You can also use the shortcut Command T or Control T on a PC. Then it opens up into the titler interface. This is where you want to choose your video settings and name your title clip. Now I'm just going to type in some text. The end or not. Once you settle on the look of your title, then you close out the titler interface, and you can grab the title clip just like it was a video clip. Now I'm going to take my title clip, drag it, and drop it right here into my timeline. Trim it out. Right click and apply the default transition, and then one more time apply default transition to create a transitional effect between both clips. This white line on our music clip here is going to control the volume of the clip, so I'm just going to pull that down, and I'll leave that at about a -6. Go back to the beginning of my sequence and hit the space bar for play. Now we're ready to export. So I click on my sequence, go up to the file, export media, or Command or Control M on a PC. Then you get the export settings dialog box. And for this, I just wanted to match my sequence settings. So your output will match your original source, keeping everything at the same resolution. Make sure to click on the highlighted text to locate the folder you want to export your file to. Then I just click export and our project is ready for export. To start things off in the series, we'll talk about creating a project from scratch, setting our scratch disks and location of our media. Then we'll edit to music, creating music montages, using markers for snapping and guidelines, and keeping a well-balanced music track. Then we'll learn about creating a sequence from scratch, adjusting settings from a current sequence, and creating your own custom sequence presets. This way you customize things to your own workflow and media. We'll later get to know the titler tool and the titler interface, and how you can work with titles as clips in your timeline, and set custom buttons for playback options inside of your source monitor and your program monitor, making things easier to work when you're reviewing your clips or doing an edit. We'll also take a look at common mistakes when you mismatch your settings. And of course, we'll go through our export queue and take a look at the Adobe Media Encoder so we can get the correct settings before we upload to Vimeo.com. You can learn a basic foundation by watching these videos, so make sure you take some notes and you'll walk away with a few new skills. So on the timeline, just to show you a few functions, we have 2 video clips. We've made some transitions. We've also made a title clip at the end. We balanced our audio, put a transition on the audio, and we've muted the ambient sound, just to show you a few functions in the timeline. Now, a lot of these methods are very beginner and very basic, and throughout this course, we're going to learn a lot easier ways of doing things, saving you time and a lot of effort, so you can focus on more creative things.